Yo, I want to talk about Magic the Gathering's creature types, and there's a lot of them, which clearly means that some are going to be better than others. Spoilers, crabs are king. But by what metric and how are we going to rank them? Well, it's time for a good old-fashioned YouTuber tier list. S rank for best, through to F rank for worst. And to help figure out which tier each of the creature types falls into, we're going to be scoring them out of 10 in 3 different categories. And then take that score and compare it to our tier chart comparison list. Because I love a point score chart, that's just me all over. Oh, and notice S rank requires a score of 31+. I'll explain how that's possible in a moment. But for now, the first of our 3 categories is theme and inspiration. I.e., are crabs, for instance, a creature worthy of being in the game? And to that I say, yes, 100%. Look how cool they are. If I were new to Magic, I would totally be excited to learn I could build a crab deck. And so for our theme and inspiration category, crabs get an easy 10 out of 10. Leave a comment if you disagree, but I'll tell you now that you're wrong. Our next category is relevancy and necessity, i.e., why is this creature type in the game, and does it feel like it deserves its own type? So to again use crabs as our example, we'd ask ourselves, do these need to have their own creature type? Could these have just been rolled in as crustaceans along with lobsters and hominids perhaps? Or possibly spiders for some reason? They have the legs for it. Or maybe even just a sea life type with fish and other such aquatic animals? I mean, sure you could make the argument, but I feel like there's enough of a distinction between crabs and those other creatures that crab having its own type makes sense. So much so in fact that not distinguishing them would feel wrong. Meaning for relevancy and necessity, crabs once again score a perfect 10. Again, argue in the comments, but I'm right on this. Finally, mechanical identity. I.e., could you tell that a creature card has a certain type just from reading the rules text alone? And if so, does that rules text do a good job of representing the essence of that creature? So for crabs, while there are some outliers which stray away from the creature type's core mechanical identity, the same is going to be true for literally every creature type we look at, so we're not going to factor those outliers into this decision, and instead judge the creature type's mechanical identity on the average cards, the ones that haven't strayed from that core identity. For instance, crab cards are mostly blue, which makes sense as they're associated with water. They usually have defensive or protective abilities to dissuade your opponents from killing them, like protection, ward, or letting you draw a card when they die, which is representative of a crab's hard shell. They're often associated with mill to reflect their aggressive and scavenging nature, and even when they have no rules text, they still usually have a higher toughness than power to reflect the fact they're small, but tough. So all in all, for mechanical identity, crabs score another perfect 10. I will die on this hill. There is one last chance for a creature to score points though, which is via a single question that we're going to call the Bobcat bias, i.e., do I personally like them? And the answer to that when looking at crabs, as you may have guessed, is yes. Look at that art, look how beautiful they are. I do like crabs, so I'm awarding them a single bonus point, meaning they have a total score of 31, and if we go back to that chart, we can see that a score of 31 plus means that crabs are, very deservedly in my opinion, S rank. Okay, and with all of that established, there's one last thing to mention. It's a little controversial, and I do expect some pushback on this one. Grouping. You see, there's a lot of creature types, I'm going to attempt to do all of them, and if I went into as much depth with each as I did for crabs, this video would never end. And so, I've grouped them, allowing several creature types to be ranked at once, if they're similar, and based on if what I have to say about them applies to all of the creature types at once. Meaning they're all basically the same thing and would end up with the same category score anyway. I understand some of you won't be pleased with that and I expect arguments, but I'm sure you'll get why I've grouped them in the way that I have as we go. So, let's get straight into the rankings, starting with a group which consists of Soldier, Warrior, Knight, Mercenary, Flagbearer, Archer, Samurai, Ranger, Berserker, Barbarian, Inquisitor, Survivor, Pirate, Rogue, Assassin, Ninja, Monk, Cleric, Pilot, Ally, Rebel, Hero, Villain, Noble, Lady, Peasant, Minion, Child, Citizen, Bureaucrat, Advisor, Judge, Chef, Zonian, Nomad, Shaman, Mystic, Druid, Wizard, Warlock, Artificer, Brainiac, Rigger, Scientist, Doctor, Detective, Bard, Boxer, Wrestler, Performer, Gamer, Mime, Waiter, Reveler, Hattificer, Employee, Guest, Human, Elf, Elves, Dwarf, Gnome, Halfling, Orc, Core, Moonfolk, Merfolk, Naga, Tiefling, Treefolk, Aetherborn, Alicorn, Alien, Angel, Antelope, Ape, Archon, Armadillo, Armored, Army, Art, Artist, Assembly Worker, Astartes, Athlete, Atog, Aurochs, Autobot, Automaton, Avatar, Azra, Baddest, Badger, Balloon, Basilisk, Bat, Bear, Beast, Beaver, Beeble, Beholder, Biggest, Bird, Blinkmoth, Boar, Bringer, Brushwag, Catan, Satan, Cetan, Camarid, Camel, Capybara, Caribou, Carrier, Cat, Centaur, Cephalid, Chameleon, Champion, Chicken, Chimera, Clamfolk, Clown, Cockatrice, Construct, Cow, Coward, Coyote, Crocodile, Custodes, Cyberman, Cyborg, Cyclops, Dalek, Douthy, 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 Doofy, Douthy, Deer, Demigod, Demon, Deserter, Designer, Devil, Dinosaur, Djinn, Dog, Donkey, Dragon, Drake, Dreadnought, Drone, Dryad, Ifrit, Egg, Elder, Eldrazi, Elemental, Elemental, Elephant, Elk, Etiquette, Eye, Fairy, Ferret, Fish, Fox, Fractal, Frog, Fungus, Gargoyle, Germ, Giant, Gith, Glimmer, Knoll, Goat, Goblin, God, Golem, Gorgon, Grandchild, Graveborn, Gremlin, Griffin, Gus, Hag, Hamster, Harpy, Hawk, Head, Hellion, Hippo, Hippogriff, Homerid, Homunculus, Hornet, Horror, Horse, Hydra, Hyena, illusion, imp, incarnation, inkling, insect, jackal, jellyfish, juggernaut, kangaroo, Karvu, Killbot, Kirin, Kithkin, Kobold, Kraken, Lamia, Lamassu, Leech, Leviathan, Lurgwith, Lycid, Liquid, Lizard, Lobster, Mammoth, Manticore, Masticore, Metathran, Minotaur, Mite, Mole, Monger, Mongoose, Monkey, Moogle, Mount, Mouse, Mummy, Mutant, Mere, Nastiest, Nautilus, Necron, Nephilim, Nightmare, Night Stalker, Noggle, Nymph, Octopus, Ogre, Ooze, Orb, Org, Otter, Oof, Ox, Oyster, Pangolin, Paratrooper, Pegasus, Pentavite, Pest, Feldegriff, Phoenix, Phyrexian, Pincher, what even is that? Plant, Pony, Porcupine, Possum, Praetor, Primarch, Prism, Processor, Proper, Rabbit, Raccoon, Rat, Reflection, Rhino, Robot, Rook, Rook, Sable, Salamander, Sand, Saproling, Satyr, Scarecrow, Scion, Scorpion, Scout, Sculpture, Seal, Servo, Shade, Shapeshifter, Shark, Sheep, Ship, Siren, Skeleton, Skunk, Slith, Sliver, Sloth, Slug, Snail, Snake, Soltari, Spawn, Spectre, Spellshaper, Sphinx, Spider, Spike, Spirit, Splinter, Sponge, Spasm, Spy, Squid, Squirrel, Starfish, Suracar, Symbiote, Synth, Teddy, Tentacle, Tetravite, Thalakos, The, Thopter, Thrall, Time Lord, Townsfolk, Toy, Tree, Trilobite, Triskelavite, Troll, Turtle, Tyrannid, Unicorn, Urzen, Vampire, Vampire, Varmint, Vidalcan, Vulva, Wool, Walrus, Surf, Serpent, Wasp, Weasel, Weird, Werewolf, Whale, Wolf, Wolverine, Wombat, Worm, Wraith, Worm, but it's spelled different, Yeti, Zombie, Zubera. And I'm grouping those creatures into a not crabs group. And now to score them, for theme and inspiration, I guess people might want to play as some of those creatures, so 5 out of 10. They probably deserve to be in the game at a push, I suppose, whatever. Relevancy Necessity? I don't know, there was an awful lot of creatures that weren't crabs there. Another 5? I mean, is anyone really interested in the creatures in a group like that? Mechanical Identity, there were so many different creatures in that group that that's an easy 0. So many different colour combinations and mechanics. No identity or cohesion at all. But do I like them? Not if they're not crabs, I don't. Minus 10 out of 10. And quite frankly, they should be thankful it's not lower. So if we take that score and compare it to that chart, we can see that a 0 means the creatures in the not crabs group, ... are F rank. And rightly so, I think. Come check out my Patreon if you want to support a creator who brings you content like this. I have many tiers with some fun rewards out there and I could use the help. And let me know in the comments where you would have put crabs. Are they the obvious option of S rank or somehow better than S rank? Should we do this all again but make a new crab tier just for them? Let me know. Nothing will stop my love for crabs. Crabs are inevitable. Look at them. Thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you to everyone that supports me, like Eggboy the particle that permeates all existence, Wanpako Jozu, Miss Murder, a random Patreon, and the rest of my patrons whose names are on screen now. I'd also like to thank the sponsor for this video, me and my Patreon page, where you can get your name credited on screen too. Check it out in the link in the description below. Hit the like button, leave a comment, install an ad block, and most importantly, subscribe and share this video with a friend. Hit the notification bell and do all those things the algorithm loves. If you agree or disagree with any of my points, or you want to see me do a video on another subject, let me know and I will see you next time. Weird. Werewolf. Whale. Wolf. Can't do that. Whale. Otter. Oof. Oofy. Ow. Oof. Oof. Oh, oof. Oh, oof. Oaf. Ox. Straight face. Ox. Walrus. 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 Can I not say walrus? Walrus. 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 Why does that sound so wrong? Walrus. I've never said this word before. Walrus. What? I'm putting an extra syllable in there. Walrus. It's not walrus. Walrus? Yeah, I think so. That's true. Walrus. That's why. It's because I'm pronouncing all the letters and I don't normally do that. I'm going to just do it in my normal accent. Walrus. Alright, matey. Walrus. Walrus. Fuck. Walrus. 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 Fuck. Walrus. 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 Surf. A little post-credits scene. Just thought I'd let you know that, I make videos like this as a means to kind of spiritually recharge myself. I understand they're not to everyone's liking and they don't do very well numbers-wise, but you have to find joy in what you do. And this video idea, it brought me joy. Now, normally I wouldn't explain this, but I am trying to stretch the runtime so that if anyone looks at the video length, they're not going to say, whoa, he's not going to have time to rank every creature type. That would give the game away, so I guess, hey, here's 5 minutes of music. Enjoy! Well, how was that? Was that fun? Have you listened all the way through? I'm still here, still chatting. Have you listened just to see if I would come back again? I did. And you know what that means? Another 5 minutes of music. But you're going to have to listen to all of it because maybe I'm going to say something halfway through. Something halfway through. That's it. No, we're done. I think this is long enough.